All right, Michigan, Baylor, Gonzaga. I'm going to put you on the spot. You got to rank them.
I would go. I still want to go Gonzaga 1, Baylor 2, Michigan 3.
That's probably what I would do as well. I think that it's very clearly like those three and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that like at this point, like even if you look at KenPom right now, and I don't like to lean entirely on KenPom for this because like the numbers can kind of get weird.
Yeah,
right now, like it's all Baylor and Michigan are like very, very close. They're like less than a half, like 0.5 away adjusted efficiency margin thing.
Right. So, KenPom's kind of weird this year with just like, I do like to look at KenPom and base a lot of rankings kind of on that. I think it's a decent ranking tool to a degree, but like
the problem is it gets skewed so much when there's these blowouts that happen.
Right. Yeah, like Virginia beating Clemson by 35, and that's why the metrics are so nice to them.
Skewed everything, and then like Louisville just getting drubbed twice coming off their
right.
That's going to kill them. But like this 22-point win over a top 5 team in Iowa, combined with Baylor barely beating Iowa State at home, has completely changed what those metrics look like. So it's very hard to take all of that stuff like, I don't want to say like too seriously, but it's very much something that you have to keep an eye on.
Who do you think? What's your projection seed wise? Who goes 1, 2, 3?
Oh man, I think a lot of it depends on what happens down the stretch.
Well, yeah, no kidding, but that's why I asked you to project it.
I think it probably ends up being Gonzaga as the number 1 overall seed because they have 6 wins over top 25 teams right now. I don't think people realize that.
To me, if Baylor loses, Gonzaga will lock up the 1 seed. But if Baylor ends up running the table, they get the 1 seed.
They might.
Number 1 overall, which is huge because Ohio State or Illinois will probably be number 5 overall, which means they're going to the 2.
It doesn't matter what happens. Like the Gonzaga or Baylor is going to get whichever Big Ten, like the Big Ten teams that are 2 seeds, because we're going to have
we're going to have 2 Big Ten 1 seeds.
Yeah, and 2 Big Ten 2 seeds. So it's just you're going to have to alternate it.
You think we're getting 2 Big Ten 2 seeds?
Depending on what happens with Iowa.
If Iowa loses to Ohio State, how do they get a 2 seed besides winning the Big Ten tournament?
I mean, who are you going to give it to? You're going to give it to Houston? You're going to give it to Villanova? You're going to give it to Alabama? It's not like all these other teams have great profiles.
Right, but like if Villanova wins the Big East and Big East tournament, they should be at above Iowa. If Alabama wins the SEC tournament, they should get it above Iowa. If who else do we say? Houston, I don't know. They're so tough from a resume standpoint.
Here's the thing, like you mentioned Villanova and Alabama, like I kind of think that both of them are going to be 2 seeds, right? So you have Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and let's just call it Ohio State on the 1 seed.
Right, and then Illinois.
Villanova, Alabama, Illinois, Iowa, and then these are the teams that you're picking from after that. You have to.
You know what? West Virginia, Oklahoma.
West Virginia, I'll give you. I'm not in on
Oklahoma. Oklahoma very well could easily have a better resume than Iowa.
Yeah, they could. But I'm also just like
they already do. I think
maybe they also lost to Kansas State, and
that's right. That's not great, but like. Iowa just hasn't beaten anybody.
Yeah, they haven't. They lost twice to Indiana, so you know what?
Right, and they lost to Minnesota.
Get them out of here.
Minnesota sucks.
Get them out of here. Yeah, I'm with you. I think right now, I'm looking up the futures odds for Iowa right now, and all I'm seeing at the moment, I don't know where to find them. All I'm seeing at the moment is Gonzaga and Baylor is plus 110, and the field is minus 134. I think at that price, I'd probably take the field, right?
Yeah, because you're getting Michigan in that plus.
You get Michigan,
Ohio State, Illinois.
You get Michigan and the coronavirus on your side.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else about this Michigan-Iowa game? Anything to take away?
No, it's pretty much what I expected. Like, I don't think Iowa's that good, and I think Michigan's really good. And we talked about Michigan is an ideal or matches up ideally against Iowa, and I wasn't shocked by the result by any means.
How worried are you about Io right now with the broken nose? Do you think that it impacts Illinois at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see when he comes back, right? Because people will overreact to the regular season if he's held out into the tournament. They'll overreact if he comes back the first game, doesn't look right in the mask, and then figures it out. So I think it matters. I think it was big that they took care of Nebraska like fairly easily today. You know, it wasn't a blowout by any means, but it wasn't a super close game. Just to kind of get that, okay, we can do this. You know, we can still, you know, win by double digits, you know, even against a bad Nebraska team. But I'm worried just because you know, adapting to a mask is a thing. Like, it's not some made up concept of a player, you know, putting a mask on and being the same player. It affects how you see the floor, and Io sees the floor really well. So, you know, it's almost like how I look at coaches. It's like a new coach, give him 3 to 4 years. Let me see Io for 3 to 4 games, and then I'll figure out exactly how much of a threat the mask is or not.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it. I think that he can adjust, and I think that there's ways to be able to make those things so that the impact on the players is somewhat limited. We had Scott McGinn in the comments earlier say that if Michigan is the 3rd best team in the country, he wants all the odds. So, I mean,
you're going to get them.
Look, if you're getting the best odds on Michigan at this point, like, I don't think that that's necessarily the wrong thing to take.